Right guys, I want to jump straight into this one because there are a lot of things coming with TU12, like the Optimisation Station returning from the Division. There's a new vendor where you can buy caches, very similar to the Division, an inventory size increase and tons more. So drop a like down below, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get straight into this one. Like I said, I don't really want to hang around here because I think there's going to be quite a lot to this video, including a segment from State of the Game that you guys are probably going to want to see rather than me speak over it. So to start off with, we had Hamish, Trick and Mackenzie. They started off with the priority alerts. There was a maintenance yesterday, so you can go out, check out the forums for those maintenance notes there if you wish to. So TU12, well, it's coming soon, they said, and I presume it will probably come within the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks, I imagine. They confirmed there's new weapons, there's new gear. I think they said there's a new gear set, there's new brand set, new exotics, and next week we're going to hear more about what that new stuff is in terms of weapons and gear and all that sort of stuff. They then confirmed that the optimization is coming back, and there's also going to be a global event shop. There is a new apparel event coming. I presume that will be with TU4. Title update 4? No, Season 4. That makes more sense. There's an increase to inventory size coming. There's the ability to turn on the mask from wherever you are. So if you want to always have your mask showing, then that's going to be there. Also, there's some changes to how picking up skills and how it interacts with actually the how quickly you can then redeploy that skill. Also, gear mod filtering. So let's go through this, starting off with the Optimisation Station, guys. This was a pretty lengthy segment, so I'm going to include it here, guys, so you can see exactly how the Optimisation Station is going to work, and I'll come back to you shortly.
So the Optimisation Station was a big feature inside of Division 1, and we wanted to bring that back to sort of exist alongside the recalibration station. So now you can go to any of the gear items that you have, you can find your favorite stat, and this includes exotics. You can find your absolute favorite stat in the whole world, and you can be like, nah, I want that to be a little bit higher. It essentially subdivides any of the stats into like 10 stages and has a certain price for each of those stages. We do some math to make certain that you're not kind of getting like cheated out if one of your bonus rolls is next to one of those thresholds. So the way it works is that there are now 4 new currencies. Actually, there's this entire wall of new currencies that you care about.
Yeah, pause the video here because it's quite, I guess, important.
It's quite a lot. It feels like a bunch of wallets to see them all at once.
Yeah.
But it's like you have one class of things that you get from breaking down gear that goes in a particular slot. So if I want to optimize pistols, I need to go to get a bunch of pistols and deconstruct them, and then I can spend that pistol deconstruct currency to upgrade them. But in addition to that, there is also the shade calibration, which you get from completing projects, and from you can craft any of these inside of the crafting station. So you can just craft a big bundle of the one that you're falling behind on, for example. And there's also a faction associated with each gear slot and weapon type that says, oh, Rikers have shotguns, so you need to defeat Riker named bosses, the final bosses of missions or the final bosses of bounties, in order to get the Rikers material, the Rikers tactical assessment.
Alright, so Optimisation Station, I am very surprised this actually is coming back. I did not expect this, but I'm pretty glad about it. Actually, I think it's something that's probably needed in the game. The question was asked, does this apply to the mods? No. You won't be able to optimize mods. You are going to still need to find these in the open world. I'm not sure why that's the case and why they wouldn't add it here, but they are not. They then moved on to talk about a PowerPoint. Now, usually I would just insert this segment for you guys, but I'd rather just go over it myself and speak about it a little bit. So, first things first, there's going to be some summit changes or improvements coming to the summit with TU12. There's going to be challenges, commendations, and some quality of life stuff. So, what you're seeing on screen are some screenshots of what I'm going to talk about. So, in terms of summit challenges, there are tactical and then there are ascent. So, tactical are kind of short-term goals, and then ascent are your long-term goals. Now, each time you complete one of these challenges or any of these challenges, you're going to get a reward, which you can see on the right hand side of those challenges. What you will be able to see over there is a reward called the Summit Challenge Cache. This will give you materials for the Optimisation Station, among other things, and obviously this is a new type of cache just for the summit. Here you can see a tactical challenge on screen, and as you can see, it says destroy enemy weak points. So that's one of the tactical challenges there, and as I said, that's the kind of short-term goals. You are going to be able to activate 2 summit challenges at time, and each can be completed once per ascent with in progress for one to maintain their state. So let's say, for example, you get to level 90 on one challenge and then you come back to it, it will remain there, so you don't have to worry about it losing its progress. Rewards will rotate per challenge completed. So on the first one, you're going to have XP, targeted loot items, and the summit challenge caches, and then you're also going to have milestone rewards. So you get the blueprint plus spec points for 10, 20, and 30, the new exotic assault rifle, and that's for completing 5 challenges in one ascent of the summit. So we do know there's a new exotic assault rifle coming with TU12, and that's going to be tied to the summit. And then also we've got on there the named item cache and also the exotic cache as well. They then went on to move and talk about commendations. Again, this is something I know a lot of people who play through the summit wanted, so I'm really glad they are coming, and actually this might give me a reason to actually go in the summit for once. So as you can see, the first one is for finishing 20 ascent and 5 challenges. The next one is opening 300 locked crates. And then the last one is a patch, a little dog patch that's pretty cool for completing 30 hours in the summit as well. The next slide is about not being, it basically not being rewarding enough. They've heard everyone talking about the summit not being rewarding enough. So each time currently you unlock a checkpoint, so 3, 6, and 9, etc., you get this floor cleared message with some experience. But with TU12, you will now get targeted loot item as well on top of that. So this is kind of a guaranteed way of getting targeted loot rewards, because you're going to get them every single checkpoint, so 3, 6, 9, 12, etc. So in theory you'd get at least 33 targeted loot items per summit run from those checkpoints, and of course that's based on your personal targeted loot selection, so it's very specific to you. The next slide they talked about was quality of life improvement. So they're changing the weekly summit project to just 30 floors rather than the entire thing, which again I think is a really, really good thing. Moving on, they talked about a new directive coming with the summit, or actually just coming in general, called Rages. And I'll just go over what it says about this. So it says, killing an enemy fills a rage meter of nearby hostile. Rage depletes over time. A full rage meter makes an enemy enraged, which grants overheal. Killing an enraged enemy removes all the rage from nearby hostiles. An empty rage meter makes an enraged enemy return to normal. It's a bit of a mouthful, actually, but basically stuff's going to get really difficult with this one, is what I'm reading from this. But there is a way to kind of mitigate that through that process. But yeah, so that's coming as well. Moving on to more quality of life stuff with the summit, they said that there's a new objective type coming. They put on here more objectives, but actually they said a new objective type, and there's going to be different variations of that. They've reduced the frequency of drone objectives based on feedback. They've slightly increased the change of rogue encounters as well, and they've also reduced the cooldown between possible rogue encounters. Like I said, there's a 10th directive added, which will also replace special ammo in the mission and the open world. So moving on, they then talked about deployed skills, and they inserted this video here, and I'm going to leave this with you guys so you can see exactly how this is going to work with TU12.
And so, yes, you'll see that for this turret, it was deployed and it had about half of its cooldown left. And so when you pick it up, it will refund, it will reduce the cooldown by that amount. And so you see, like here, is the video frozen?
No, sorry, I just paused it so people could see what's happening.
Okay. Yes, so there, like, you messed up the throw and you pick it up right away. And so it gets refunded back to you immediately. Whereas here,
let's rewind and watch it again.
Yes, so if you pause there, like you see, it was halfway through its duration, and when you pick it up, it's half the cooldown that you have to wait for.
Cool.
So it's, hopefully that makes sense. And then this one, you throw it out, and it's got its full duration left. And so when you pick it up, it's a very short cooldown.
That turret change for me is awesome. I use the turret a lot, so really glad about that. Hamish did ask if there's any kind of limitations to this. They said there's no limitations. You just don't want to throw your turret somewhere that you can't reach it, because then you won't be able to recover it, but that's really only it. They then moved on to talk about the mask now being toggable. I think that's probably a word. they inserted this image here on the stream, which you'll be able to see. So as you can see, you'd click options. If you go down to the bottom, you can see the thing there where it says always show mask, and you just select yes, and it's really that simple. They then moved on to talk about inventory size. They included this image, and as you can see, the inventory size has been increased to 150. That's a pretty large boost. This is actually really, really great news. I know a lot of people are going to be really, really happy about this. And if you've got 4 characters, then that is an extra 200 slots. They did confirm there's no increase to the actual stash size, but they're hoping that this is a good change and people will be happy about that. And I think that's really, really good personally. They then added this screenshot as well, which is a filter system for gear mods. Again, this is absolutely needed for TU12. It's something that I requested in my TU12 ideas video. So really glad this is coming as well. They then moved on to talk about the global event shop. Now, if any of you played the Division, this will look very familiar to you. So they confirmed that Season 4 does have a new global event. They said that with this global event and how they're going to work in TU12 is that you can now complete challenges or just level up when the global event is active, and this is going to give you stars towards that progression, but also towards this global event shop. Now, stars can be spent in the global event shop, and as you can see, you can buy caches. You can buy named item caches, gear caches, exotic caches if you've got enough stars. And like I said, this is very similar to how it worked in the Division 1, and I'm really, again, really, really good. I think this is a really, really good thing to add into the game. So they also said that if you spend stars that you've accumulated within this global event shop, it won't affect your progression within that global event in terms of the rewards that you would get for participating in that global event. So again, that's really, really good news. They then included another image here showing a bighorn buff. So as you can see, they've increased the mag size from 30 to 40, and they said that this should help the bighorn in AR mode a lot more with TU12. Question came up as well about NPC balance. They said that nothing has changed since TU 9.1. They've gone in a million times and looked at it. Nothing has changed in terms of the NPCs. So yeah, there you have it. But that's it, guys. That's it for today's video. There is a lot crammed in here. I'm probably going to make quite a few videos talking about each of these systems and what I think about them, whether they're good, they're bad. But overall, on the surface, I am very, very happy with these changes. And more than anything, I'm very, very surprised. Actually, I was not expecting something like this, and I think this this looks good for the future of Year 3. I know a lot of people have doubts that there will be a Year 3 for this game and DLC and stuff, and I think if they're investing this much resource into these changes, which I'm sure took some time to do, then I think we can almost guarantee there will be a Year 3, and if it follows a very similar kind of path as a Division 1 did, which is what it's looking like, then I think we can be pretty confident that Year 3 is going to be awesome, and I can also be confident that there is going to be a Division 3. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Until the next one, Epic out.